Hey, y'all, picture this: a wide-open stretch of Texas, where the hills roll like they're whispering secrets, and the only thing louder than the wind is the stubborn beat of a man's heart, holding fast to his land. My name's Cole Harlan. I'm pushing 47, a former Army mechanic with scars on my knuckles and a ranch that's been in my family since my granddaddy wrestled it from the dirt. Out here, in what folks now call Willow Bend, I've got 2,000 acres of dust and dreams, and I guard it like it's the last piece of me that matters. It all started a few years back, when I leased out 300 acres to a slick developer named Tom Warwick. He promised a quiet community, fancy houses, folks who'd keep to themselves. I signed a 15-year deal, with a clause that let me take the land back when the lease ran dry. Sounded fair. I took the cash, built a new fence, and figured that was that. But trouble, it's got a way of sniffing out peace like a coyote on a blood trail. Enter Vivian Stokes, the queen bee of the Willow Crest HOA, a woman with a smile sharp enough to cut glass and a need to control everything her eyes could land on. She rolled up to a town meeting one spring, all polished nails and big city attitude, announcing she was going to elevate the neighborhood's look. And wouldn't you know it, her first target was my old hay barn, sitting proud on my side of the line, weathered cedar, a little crooked, painted the kind of faded red that tells stories. Vivian called it an eyesore, said it clashed with the modern elegance of Willow Crest, her words, not mine. She wanted it painted something called urban ash, which, I swear, sounds like the color of a bad divorce. I leaned back in my chair at that meeting, boots scuffed on the floor, and told her, "Ma'am, that barn's on my land, and my land doesn't bow to your rulebook." Her eyes narrowed, and she gave me this smile, like a fox eyeing a henhouse, and said, "We'll work with the county to ensure compliance, Mr. Harlan." Compliance, that word hung in the air like a threat. I drove home that night, the stars burning holes in the sky, and I knew this wasn't about paint. It was about power, about her need to stretch her claws past her picket fences and scratch at what's mine. A week later, the letters started. Fancy envelopes, Dallas law firm letterhead, claiming my barn violated some visual covenant tied to the neighborhood's aesthetic zone. They said the county had given the HOA oversight on anything visible from their main road, including 40 feet of my barn's side. I called up Sheriff Danny Ruiz, a guy I've known since we were kids sneaking beers behind the feed store. He snorted, said, "Cole, they're bluffing, they got no jurisdiction, but they'll try to drown you in paperwork." Then he chuckled, "Just don't go shooting nobody unless they're climbing your gate with a paint roller." I didn't shoot anyone, but I read every word of those letters, every fake legal jab trying to bully me into submission, and I felt it in my gut this was a fight for more than a barn. It was for every inch of dirt my family bled for. So, I gave it a week, just to see if Vivian and her clipboard posse would back off. They didn't. 2 more letters came, one hinting I was tanking their property values, another threatening municipal enforcement. That was it. I drove my beat-up Ford into town, loaded it with 40 gallons of the loudest, angriest red paint I could find. Think outlaw bandana, think bull ready to charge. Took me 3 days, a sunburn that had me cursing the sun itself, and a few choice words for the latter, but when I was done, that barn wasn't just red, it was a middle finger to the world. I slapped a sign on it too, big block letters, private property. No HOA, no bull. Then I went all and wired up 4 security cameras, motion lights, even a fence alarm that'd scream louder than a bobcat. I figured that'd shut him up. Then came the night that changed everything. I'm sitting in my kitchen, eating cold brisket, a Lone Star in hand, my hound Buck snoring under the table, when the motion sensor pings. I pull up the camera feed on my phone, and there she is, Vivian Stokes, HOA president, dressed like she's auditioning for a low-budget spy flick, all black, sneaking toward my barn with her phone up, snapping pictures of my offensive red paint. She's pacing, muttering, probably dreaming of her big courtroom win, when crunch. Her Lexus clips the barn's corner post. Headlight pops, bumper crumples, and for a split second, she freezes behind the wheel, eyes wide like a deer who just realized she's in the wrong pasture. Then she stumbles out, cursing loud enough to wake the dead. Damn it. Oh, hell no. She tries to take pictures, but every angle makes her look worse. Then she sees my camera, the little red light blinking, and I swear, she stares right into it, mutters, "You son of a," and peels out, tires spitting gravel. I sent that video to Danny, my lawyer, Sarah, and my insurance guy with a note. Vivian met the barn. Barn 1. By morning, her insurance company's calling, saying she claimed my barn encroached on shared land. Sarah laughed so hard she nearly choked. We sent the full footage timestamps, license plate, Vivian's whole meltdown. By noon, her claims denied. By evening, Danny's deputy says she's under investigation for hit-and-run property damage. The best part? I posted a clip to the town's Facebook group, captioned, "Willow Crest's finest at work." Went viral in hours. Someone memed it with HOA 0, barn 1. My barn wasn't just red now, it was a legend. You'd think Vivian would have quit, but nope, she doubled down, like a gambler betting her last dime. She sent a formal HOA notice, hand-delivered by some kid who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else, accusing me of hostile aesthetic behavior. Yeah, that's a thing. They demanded I repaint, remove my sign, and get this tear down my sightline obstructing fence. I sent back a copy of my deed and a polite suggestion to shove it. Then she sued me, through some hotshot Austin lawyer who looked like he spent more on hair gel than brains. They wanted a court order to force me to comply, plus damages for emotional distress to the neighbors. Sarah, who's sharper than a tack and twice as tough, just grinned and said, "Cole, this ain't a lawsuit, it's a circus, and we're about to steal the show." While Vivian was burning through HOA cash and screaming on local TV about community harmony, I was digging through my granddaddy's old files, maps, deeds, contracts that smelled like dust and justice. And there it was, the lease for those 300 acres, set to expire that month, with a clause saying I could take it all back, no questions asked. I sat on it. Let Vivian think she had me cornered. Let her drag me to court over paint. In that courtroom, her lawyers tossing around words like visual desecration, and I'm just sitting there, boots crossed, waiting. Then Sarah stands, slides a folder to the judge thicker than a Bible, and says, "My client owns 90% of Willow Crest's land, roads, parks, clubhouse, all of it. The lease expired last week. Unless the HOA's got $15 million to buy it, Mr. Harlan can shut it all down in 60 days. The room went dead quiet. Vivian's jaw dropped. Her lawyer looked like he'd swallowed his tongue, and the judge just blinked. Sarah kept going, laying out how I could chain off their streets, turn their tennis courts into a goat pen, and lock their precious gates. It was legal, airtight, and glorious. Vivian squeaked, "This is extortion." Sarah just handed her the lease, her signature from 15 years ago, right next to Warwick's. The judge called a recess, and I walked out, tipped my hat to the reporters, and drove home, the dirt road humming under my tires. After that, Vivian lost it. One night, I'm up late, coffee in hand, when the cameras ping again. It's her, sneaking under my fence with some sketchy guy named Mitch, a contractor, who looked like he'd rob a gas station for beer money. They're cutting wires, smashing a camera, and Vivian even chucks a rock at the lens like she's in some action movie. Too bad for her. I had a backup camera in the loft, catching every move. I called Danny, said, "Got a break-in live on tape, HOA president starring." 10 minutes later, deputies roll up, lights flashing. Vivian tries to bolt, trips, faceplants in a cactus patch, screaming about misunderstandings. Mitch just stands there, muttering. She told me it was legal. They're cuffed, hauled off, and I hand Danny a USB with the footage over coffee. The video leaked, don't ask me how, and by morning, every news outlet's got it. HOA chief busted vandalizing rancher's barn. Vivian's rock throw got the slow-mo treatment, set to banjo music online. The HOA board, what was left of it, voted her out that day, citing public humiliation. With the lease gone and Vivian in cuffs, I filed to reclaim the land and dissolve the HOA for good. The judge signed off in weeks. Willow Crest HOA was dust. I could have stopped there, but I didn't. I called a meeting, taped invites to every mailbox, and expected a handful to show. 50 came, sitting in folding chairs by the barn, chili dogs in hand. I told them the land was mine again, but I wasn't here to lord it over anyone. I offered a new deal, a cooperative, no fees, no rules about grass height or mailbox colors, just neighbors acting like neighbors. They loved it. We called it Willow Bend Collective, turned the old HOA clubhouse into a workshop and book swap. Sunflowers popped up on corners, Kids rode bikes, and folks waved again. It wasn't perfect, but it was ours. That barn. It's a museum now, the Liberty Shed, packed with leased copies, Vivian's old letters, and that viral video on loop. Tourists stop by, snap pics, ask, "Is this the place that took down the HOA?" I nod, point him to the popcorn stand. One day, a kid tugs my sleeve and says, "Did the barn save the town?" I laugh, say, "Nah, kid, it just reminded us what freedom looks like." Vivian's gone, a cautionary tale swapped over beers. But here's the thing, was I too hard on her? Could I have talked it out, avoided the war? Maybe. Or maybe some fights pick you, and you gotta stand your ground, red paint and all. What do y'all think, was this justice? Or just a grudge with better cameras? Drop a comment, tell me your HOA horror stories, or if you'd have painted that barn a different color. Hit subscribe if you're with me, and let's keep talking about what it means to hold your own in a world that's always trying to fence you in.